Hi, my name is Alicia Cruz, and I've been the Student Assistance Counselor at Vernon High School since, 1994 is when I started here.
Year I was born.
Great.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
My name is Frank Nacchio. I'm the head coach at Susquehanna Community College men's soccer. I started here as the assistant coach 3 years ago, and I had the opportunity to become head coach this past season, which was a great experience for me.
Well, I'll start out by telling you that my name is Jason Haw. I'm currently a detective with the Vernon Police Department. I've been a police officer here for about 13 years.
Do you consider yourself successful?
I do. I enjoy my career. I do consider myself successful. I like what I do.
I do. I consider myself being pretty successful from coaching high school and then, getting promoted to come to coach at community college, which is a higher skill level, and hopefully keep moving up.
It's a funny word, successful. Yeah, I think I do. I think I do because I think you get as much out of a career as you put into it. And this has certainly been a learning experience.
Are you on radio?
Okay.
It's certainly been a learning experience for me. I don't have all the answers, but I do the best that I can with the kids that I work with. So, have I given it my best? Yeah, I think I have. So if you measure success that way, sure. Have I gotten rich at this job? No. But
What you want?
Right when I got out of college, playing anyway, when I stopped playing soccer, since I couldn't further my career playing-wise, I knew I wanted to coach, I knew I wanted to get involved, and help kids go where I couldn't. And that's when I knew I definitely wanted to get involved in coaching soccer and, try to take my career to that.
I went into college really not quite sure what I was going to do. I was really thinking about law school at the time. And, like anybody else, you don't really know what you want to do at that age, or very few people do, and if they do, they generally change their minds. My sophomore year, I walked into a child psychology class, and the woman teaching it was just beyond brilliant. She really knew her stuff, and it caught my attention. And I kept taking classes in the field, and graduated with a major in psych. A few other very useless minors, but useless but fun.
At what age did I make a determining? I'd have to say it was in college that I may have had some thought earlier on, but I didn't finally dedicate myself to go that way till probably my sophomore year of college.
I had one regret. What would it be?
I love what I do. I've gotten tremendous satisfaction. I mean, I've been doing this kind of work in one capacity or another for over 30 years. I mean, I graduated from college in '81 and I went right into this field. The greatest regret is that as much as I like it, I did not do what I love the best.
What is that, music?
Yeah, I still am a musician. And when I made the decision to go to college, I had to choose between going the traditional route, which is what I went. I went through Rutgers, and going to a music conservatory down in Princeton, Westminster Choir College. And I decided not to do that because it just made a whole lot more sense to do something practical. Maybe go to law school, maybe go into journalism, all these kinds of things. I wound up in the field of psych. Those things are all great, but it wasn't what I loved the most. And I always tell kids, do what you love the most.
If you could go back in time, would you do that now or still do what you're doing?
No, I would do that. I would do that.
My biggest regret? Actually, I don't have any big regrets. I think that things that might have been bad, things that were good, all happened for a reason. So where I am today is through my failures and triumphs and everything. So I really don't have any regrets.
My biggest regret in the field?
Yeah. If there was something else you wanted to do in life, if there was anything like that.
In general, I'd say within the department, I'm sorry that I didn't take any promotional exams sooner. We had quite a bit of turnover the last few years, and had I pursued that more and been more focused on that at the time, maybe I wouldn't be a detective, maybe I'd be up, I may have moved up in the ranks. It's never too late to do that, but that's certainly a possibility. But I enjoyed the positions that I've had the past few years, so it was a decision that I made, but I still think, what if I had done things otherwise? So.
If you won the lottery, would you continue working?
Probably not. No, I would not continue to do this. I would spend an awful lot more time in a recording studio, which is what I've been doing for a couple of years now anyway. And just concentrating on that. And I mean, it's not that I don't love this, I do, but it's been 30 years. It's a long chapter of my life, and it's been valuable, but I might be coming to the end of that chapter and ready for something else.
Absolutely. I'm very lucky with this job. I love it. It's a great job. Absolutely, would definitely continue to.
Who was the biggest influence for you?
I had several influences at the time. I don't personally have any direct family members that were involved, so I didn't have any pull in that respect. My wife, who was only my girlfriend at the time, her uncle was a police officer, so he had some influence. And it was more or less a determination that I made on my own from what I had seen, just from other police officers and some of the research that I had done about the field.
I had a couple through my life. Definitely my dad. He's definitely one of my big mentors. I'd also go with head coaches that coached when I was the assistant coach. They really helped me out. And most of my soccer coaches were pretty good mentors as well.
And my first job was working in a psychiatric hospital.
What was that like?
That was amazing. It really was. It was a position called mental health associate, mental health worker. And basically you're kind of an orderly, you know, and the nurses are in charge. You know, it's a medical model. So it was everything from escorting patients, admitting them, helping in that process. It was very hands-on, very one-on-one. You know, you were responsible for maybe 8 or 10 patients on a shift, 3 shifts, you know, like any hospital, 8-hour shifts. And it was a private hospital down in Summit. It's still there, but under a different name. It was called Fair Oaks. And I saw the most unbelievable stuff there. I really did. It was quite a training experience. I stayed for 7 years.
What's one of the like craziest things you've ever seen?
Off the top of my head, a woman who was brought in restraints, and she truly believed that she was a dog. And she was barking and spitting and trying to bite, and at first, this is, I mean, it sounds crazy, but seeing it was unreal. They actually worked her up. For a moment. They were wondering if she was rabid, if she actually had rabies, and it was a psychiatric break. It was she was schizophrenic, and she had just really gotten into a bad break.
What schools did you go through? Like, what schooling did you?
I started, I went to Catholic school most of my life, from Immaculate Conception to Pope John High School. When I came here, after that I got a full ride to play soccer at Bloomfield College.
Nice.
And that's where my schooling ended.
What's more important to you, the money or being happy with your job?
Money is nice. Money is nice. The money that I was making at State Farm, when I switched from State Farm over to the police, was almost identical. So it wasn't a financial move that brought me from there to here. And at the time, the police salaries were, I mean, they're comfortable, but they were not great. And even today, and of course this is going back 13 years, but we've obviously had our increases since then. The police field in general is not a field that you ever get into expecting to be a millionaire. If I don't make poor decisions, I'm not going to go hungry, but I'm certainly never going to be rich. So for me, it wasn't a financial decision. That's why I would recommend you marry money.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yeah.
My favorite color is orange.
That was for personal reasons, Taylor. We're gonna have to add that.
Your job?
Just hanging out. There isn't a day that I don't laugh a lot here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, come on, you've been here. You know what this office is
Mhm.
like. It's I think it keeps you young. There's the humor that is involved in this. We could be dealing with the most difficult thing, but young people have a lot of energy. Kids have a lot of energy, and there is humor, and I like your generation. I mean, I think you guys are a little bit crazy in some of the choices that you make, and you know, we've talked about that. But there's an energy to your generation that I really enjoy, and something that I really like is that you guys question things, I think, at a deeper level than my generation. Your generation, people don't stick out so much. You are all in a very different space in how you view the world and how you view social values and mores, and I think your generation in some ways is very brave in that you question things at such a depth, and you are able to stand up to more conventional thinking of your parents and grandparents. So I'm kind of intrigued by that.
In general, I mean, I think the obvious is that yeah, you gotta you have to keep your nose clean. You know, you can't be getting into trouble and slacking off in school. I'm not saying you have to be the valedictorian, but you can't come out with a 1.0 GPA and expect that that's not going to affect you when it comes time for being looked at as a possible candidate. I would also encourage this school. I would encourage going to the college, even though there's towns that don't require it. I think it's all part of a maturing process, and I think, especially in a police field, that I think maturity goes a long way. So I think that whole maturing process in college, I know it certainly changed my life. And those 4 years were a big difference in me in maturity. I think that would be the case with a lot of students. So I would encourage the college. If they're sure that they want to do a particular field, then stick with that field. If it's criminal justice, great. If not, go with something that's more broad-based and that would apply to multiple jobs, police being one.
The most important thing that I can say to you is look around and find something that just fills you up. I mean, that's when your heart is in it and you are looking forward to going to work and you're excited about what you're doing, and it's just this warm feeling inside. That's when you know where your heart is. That's when you know that you're doing the right thing. And somebody said to me a long time ago, and I didn't believe it, you know, don't follow the money. Do what you love, and the money will come to you. And I think that's absolutely true. I didn't believe it when I was younger. I'm believing it much more now. And it's going in that direction for me.
I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell. I looked at you as it fell, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing.